Peace, family. Welcome back. Today we are dealing with how your great grandmother or how that great mother energy in general can assist you on this earth realm, can assist you in your human experiences. Listen, have you ever been going through something, facing some challenges? Have you ever felt like your back was up against the wall and no matter who you talked to, no matter who you was receiving some words of wisdom or encouragement from, nothing mattered like the voice of the mother. Nothing mattered like the voice of your mother or your grandmother. Have you ever been through something to where nobody in the world can understand what you're feeling, what you're going through, and what you need? But mama, but grandma, great grandma, oh, they just get it. Have y'all ever had that experience? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments right now if you've been in life navigating, and this could be positive. This could be when something positive was happening in your life or when something challenging was happening in your life. I remember for me, y'all, where I just had Kimmy, at first I felt like I could do the whole pregnancy thing, give birth thing. At first I didn't realize how much I needed my mother, right? I didn't realize it until I was in the trenches and I was like, damn, I need my mama. And so I remember calling my mama and being like, I need you to get here. I remember when I had just had the C-section and I was waking up from being, put to sleep because I was put to sleep in that C-section. And of course, my first mind is like, where is the baby and how are my kids doing? But the very next thing that came up inside of me was I needed the strength, I needed the encouragement, I needed the upliftment of my mother. And so today we are going to be talking about how your great grandmother, but not just your great grandmother, but any mother figure, any divine feminine figure in your life, how you can channel that, how you can channel that maternal power, how you can channel that maternal energy in your life and in your experiences right now to support you in your growth, to support you in your manifestation. Okay? And it's so funny because just last month, throughout the month of June, we did a lot of talking about the father energy. And now I feel very called and I feel very led to talk about how we use the mother energy, how we heal that maternal energy inside of us, how we connect more with that divine feminine birthing essence, right? And so this build really goes hand in hand. This build really goes hand in hand with the spiritual pregnancy build from the Mystic Mind Conference and just a lot of conversations that I've been having recently. Peace, Iman. I love you too, sis. Peace, Dream. Peace, Spiritual Awakening. Peace. Hey, Jenny. Peace, The Portal. Peace, Cosmic Creatrix. Johnny Mac. Peace. Peace, The Modest More. Johnny Mac already says, yeah, I am 2 blocks away from where my grandma raised me. We together all day doing the same shit we did when she had a body. Wow. Exactly. Super duper powerful energy. Well, how this energy actually came up was my brother lost his job. My younger brother lost his job a month ago. So it's been a month of my brother trying to figure out, who he wants to be, what he wants to do. And y'all already know when somebody loses their job, it'd be a big deal, especially if a person is very connected and very grounded and very rooted in their humanity. Losing your job is a big deal. It can be very scary. And my mother didn't know that my brother lost his job. My grandmother didn't know that my brother lost his job for the entire month. Only me, Dream, and my father knew that my brother lost his job. My brother didn't want to tell my mother because he didn't want my mother to feel anxious or worried or anything like that. And so I've been talking to him for a month. I've been encouraging him, uplifting him, and I'm just like, come on, bro, you got this. Like, keep your mind right. Because when we experience endings like that, transitions like that, movements like that, we're forced to do something different. If you don't have the right mentality, if you don't have the mental state that says everything is working out for me, if you don't have the mental state that says this is going to be good, this is going to be fine, this is a blessing in disguise, if you don't have that mentality, you'll be thinking of worst case scenarios, and therefore you'll create that. And so my brother recently, with it being about a month of him losing his job and him not really finding the opportunities that he feel like best aligns with who he wants to be, he's just been on this up and down emotional roller coaster. Like one moment, he's trying these little gigs to make some money just to suffice because he has children, he has a home he has to pay for, a car note, all of these things like that. And so sometimes I'll talk to him on the phone and he's like, I'm good, D, I'm good. And then other times, D, I'm not so good. And then Spirit just told me to tell him, like, when's the last time you talked to Mama about this? I said, did you talk to Mama about this? Did you talk to Grandma about this? Like, have you told that divine matriarchal feminine energy about what it is you're going through? And my brother was like, no, I haven't told them. I'm like, bro, you need to talk to them. I said, there's something different about the encouragement and the upliftment from a mother or a grandmother or great grandmother. There's something different about that energy that gives you this love, this fuel, this understanding that you can do it, right? Fathers, on the other hand, they're good, but fathers are more from if a father is not tapped into his nurturing energy, he can be very hard, harsh, disciplinarian, and that energy can stop you from being able to see the blessing in disguise. And that is what was happening with my father, with my brother losing his job. My father was just, well, what's this and why this happened and why you did that and why you did that. And so my brother couldn't see the blessing. My brother couldn't see how this was actually a gift. And that's the thing about the mother, the grandmother, the great grandmother. For a lot of us in that divine feminine energy, and for a lot of us in our experiences with our mothers or grandmothers and great grandmothers, they're able to see beyond what the human reality is showing us. Have y'all ever recognized that or felt that? A real life example that just happened a week ago, which is what inspired this video. I'm on the phone with my brother and he's telling me he's up and down. His emotional world is everywhere. And I tell him, I said, you need to talk to Mama. I said, you need to talk to Mama. And so even when I'm talking about the great grandmother, I'm talking about Mama energy in general. I'm talking about great mother energy in general. But I tell him, I said, you need to talk to Mama. And so he calls my mom and he tells her what happens. And of course, she calls me. And I'm like, yeah, Mama, I done been known about this for a month. I done been told him, I told him, I was the one that told him that he needed to call you, that he needed your spirit. He needed that mother energy. He needed that love. He needed the wisdom that you possess. That is what he needs in order for him to develop some confidence and move forward in this earthly realm. My mama was like, okay, 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 yeah, you right. So she had to calm herself down because she was frustrated finding out that her son didn't have a job for a month, right? So she goes and she takes a spiritual bath. Now, she doesn't call it a spiritual bath, but that's what she's doing, right? Because mothers and that divine feminine energy, that great mother energy, we care about our children. Your grandmother, it's funny because some grandmothers end up loving their grandchildren better than they even love their actual children. And that lineage and that lineage of love, it continues. Like my grandmother absolutely adores and cherishes the grandchildren. Her children, she loved them, she cared about them, but they didn't get the best version of her, right? Which y'all probably have recognized that and experienced that, where your mother as a grandmother do things way differently than she did things when you were the child, right? So my mother, she goes and she takes a spiritual bath, and God gives her a message. She receives an intuitive message. And this is the power of the mother. This is the power of your grandmother. This is the power of your great grandmother, is that because we carry you, because they carry you in the womb, because let's just be all the way clear with it. When your mother is a baby in your grandmother's womb, you are an egg in your mother's womb as she's a baby. So you are actually in your grandmother's womb when your grandmother is pregnant with your mother. Let me say that to you again. When your grandmother is pregnant with your mother and your mother is that little baby that's growing 4, 5, 6 months, your mother already has all the eggs that she will ever have. She already has them within her body as a baby. So you are actually in your grandmother's womb when your grandmother is pregnant. So at the cellular level, your grandmother knows what it is that you need. Okay? Because when you're just an egg, you're just a single cell. And then once you get activated, those cells start to multiply and become all of these different things. So this is very, very profound to know and understand that when I am pregnant with my daughters, when I was pregnant with Kara and Kimmy, I was also pregnant with their children. Oh, come on, come on. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I was pregnant with Kara and Kim, which are both of our 2 daughters, I was also carrying their children in my womb, even though their children were just eggs, cells, right? This is some very divine, deep stuff. And this is the sacred connection that we have with our maternal lineage, with our mothers and mothers and mothers and mothers and mothers. And so this is why it is so important that we heal the maternal wounds so that we can tap into our maternal power. Because within our maternal power is this infinite wisdom and this infinite creative ability. So like I told my mom, right? Like I said, she took a spiritual bath, right? Because she was like, I got to get in the tub. Your brother done lost his job. It's been a month. He just now telling me, oh my God, So she takes a bath and she gets out the bath and she calls my brother back. And she tells my brother some of her stories. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. She tells my brother, Chris, I don't want to say his name, but now you know his name. My brother's name is Chris. She says, Chris, I've lost 3 jobs for crazy reasons. And she tells him, I did this and lost a job. I did this and lost a job. I did this and lost a job. And I had kids and I knew better. And she said, so don't you dare let this change, let this shift that is happening in your life. Do not let this tear you down. Do not let this be a cloud that hangs over your head. Do not let this be something that makes you question who you are and your power. This is a part of your journey. And my mom says, I want you now to focus on who you are being called to be and not the comfortability of a job. I'm like, oh my God. And so she calls me and she tells me this. And I'm like, what, mama? You said all of that? She was like, girl, I just told him. And she said to me, she said, and I thank you, Desiree, because God, she still says God, which is fine. She said, God had to tell you to tell him to tell me so that he can receive the message that he needed to receive. And then, of course, she's like, amen, amen. She's going off. But this is the truth. My brother was not receiving the empowerment and the upliftment and the encouragement to strive in this change, right? He wasn't receiving the encouragement and the empowerment that he needed to strive right now. He was still thinking, how am I going to survive? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And my mom, being the mother, being that great mother, being tuned in to what your child needs, and your grandmothers and your great grandmothers do this as well. The divine feminine energy understands things that are unspoken. The divine feminine energy gets things that are not as obvious and apparent. See, the masculine energy is going to look for all the apparent conscious things that we can see, all the things that are in the light. The divine feminine, great mother, grandmother, mother energy, it sees and understands the things that are unspoken and is able to highlight those things and allow the true power, the true wisdom, the true essence to come out of that. And so when my mother told my brother this, it sparked something inside of him that shifted his entire perspective. And so I didn't call him that night because I didn't want him to know that mama done got off the phone with you and called me, because y'all know how that goes with siblings and the mamas. And so I called him the next day, or he called me the next day. However, we ended up talking. And he was like, man, I talked to mama. And I was like, oh, yeah? Of course, I already know. I'm like, oh, yeah? How did that go? He said, man, you were so right, D. I needed that. He was like, I feel so good. He said, I feel so empowered. He said, I'm grateful they let me go from that job. He said, I'm grateful they let me go from that job. Because now I'm like, okay, now I got this new creative spark. Now I'm tapped into this other energy, and I know that I can do it. And I know that I can figure this out. I know that I'm being made better from this situation. And I was like, okay, yeah, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Tell me some ideas. What you got going on? And he was like, man, I'm receiving he was like, I'm waiting on this phone call to come back, because my brother is a basketball, played basketball all his life. And he was working some job that had nothing to do with basketball, had nothing to do with his passion, had nothing to do with what he loved. He was working the job because it was comfortable. And it made a certain amount of money where he was able to sustain his life, take care of his kids. But that's it. There was no love in that job. And so he was like, man, D, I'm receiving opportunities. People are calling me to come be coaches over here and do trainings over here. And actually, I'm going to start working out, and I'm going to start doing this, and I'm going to start doing that. So that mother, that great mother, grandmother energy, when instilled inside of him, sparked up all of this dormant light that was in his mind that he was not tapping into when he was only receiving messages from my father. Are you following me? See, the father energy is going to let you see the things that are apparent, especially if the man is not into spirituality. The mother energy, whether they're into spirituality or not, they're going to help you to see things that maybe you haven't thought about. The mother energy is creative. The mother energy has access to infinite potential, hence the womb. Okay? Hence the womb. And so as no matter who you are, No matter who you are, you need to be tapping into your maternal lineage so that you can have access to more infinite potential, but not just infinite potential that is fueled by love, infinite potential that is fueled by care, infinite potential that is fueled by nurturing and act in a deep desire for your children and your children's children to succeed, to thrive, to heal, and to become their best selves. This is what's happening right now. This is a powerful energy that is present right now that is supporting us in this quantum leap that we're all going through, you know? Because when we're just looking at what we can see, there's so much other stuff that we can have access to that we're not picking up on because we're not allowing ourselves to tune into the mother within. And the reality is that all of us have that great mother energy within us. Why? Because we all came from a woman, get our name from a woman, and I came from a woman. Okay? What y'all know about that, Tupac? What y'all know about that, Tupac? We all have this energy within us. We have to nurture it. We have to nurture it. Men and women. Okay? Men and women have to nurture their maternal, their divine feminine, their great mother, their great grandmother energy. Okay? So, really quickly, we're going to talk about how we do that. Really quickly, we're going to talk about how do we feed that maternal instinct, because the reality is, here's what I'm telling you. Here's what I'm telling you. The reality is that your grandmother, your great grandmother, your mother, anybody, the women that have made the transition, the women in your life who are no longer in the physical, you have access to their energy, right? You can tap into them energetically. All right, you can tap into them energetically, and if you do that, you're tapping into love, you're tapping into nurturing, you're tapping into strength, you're tapping into intuition. This is what you're tapping into, and we all need that, because let me tell y'all, and I send love to anybody who has lost their mother, to anybody who has lost their grandmother, to anybody who has not had the opportunity to cultivate that sacred energy and that sacred love that cannot even be put into words with that divine mother in your life. Because the reality is that not everybody grows up with their mother, right? Not everybody has a relationship with their grandmother. And so I want to talk to y'all today about how do you cultivate that, whether you do or whether you don't, but how do you learn to embrace that maternal instinct that is inside of you, because we all have it, right? Because you are um, made in the image of God, period. You're made in the image of God, which means that you have this energy, right? You have both masculine and feminine God, goddess energy. You have it. And sometimes when we are not, sometimes when we don't have the opportunity as children and as adults to experience healthy femininity and to experience a healthy relationship with our mothers and our grandmothers and our great grandmothers, when we don't have that, we can feel stifled in that area of mothering, nurturing, and that maternal instinct. And the reason why we need this, okay, the reason why we need this is for the same exact reason that I just told you about my brother. You know, if you don't have it to where you can call and say, hey, mama, hey, grandma, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm experiencing, you need to be able to tune into that energy inside of yourself. You need to be able to activate that inside of yourself. You need to be able to turn that light on inside of yourself that can see the unseen. that can touch on things that are not so apparent. See, that's the beautiful thing about the mother. Listen, my children, you know, I know y'all tell me if I'm the only one. Y'all tell me if I'm the only one. Am I the only one who, when I was a kid, I thought my mama did not know what she was talking about? Was that just me, or did y'all have that too? Where it's like, "No, mama, you do not know what you're talking about. No, mama, you ain't hitting on that. No, mama, that's not it." Was that just me? Where I'm like, "No, mama, that's not it." But then as you get older, as you mature, you realize, "Oh shit, my mama was right." Is that just me, or did y'all have that experience as well? Because baby, I could be like, "Nope, nope, mama, nope, nope. That's not gonna happen, mama. That's not what that is. That's not what's going on, mama." And let some time pass and what she was saying was right. Or even grandma. Oh, grandma, she be knowing too. And my grandmas, they call me Desi, both of them. "Hey, Desi, you really need to da 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 da." No, grandma, I don't need to do that, grandma. I'm good on that, grandma. I'm straight on that, grandma. Some time passed and I'm like, damn, grandma was right. I probably did need to do that. Y'all ever had that experience? Man, I remember one time my big brother, right? He's 4 years older than me. And I remember he was in high school. We were in middle school. I was in middle school, my big brother was in high school. And so, you in high school, you a boy, and you grew up in an impoverished area, so you getting into some shit. You getting into some gang stuff, you getting into some drug stuff, you getting into all types of stuff. This is my big brother. I remember my big brother, he was leaving the house some night, going out, going somewhere, doing what teenagers do. My mother said to him, "Don't be having them friends in my car. Don't be doing all of this and this and this and this." Oh gosh, she told him. She told him, and I heard her tell him. We go to bed, he's still out doing whatever he's doing. A few hours later, a few hours later, my mother wakes up me and my younger brother and say, "Get up, we gotta go. Your brother just got pulled over by the police and he had weed in the car." My mama had already knew that something was going to happen. And see, that's the thing about the great mother energy as well. They're gonna let you learn. They're gonna let you learn. They're gonna let you explore. They're gonna let you figure it out. But deep inside, they already be knowing. And so best believe we get to like we had to go get the car from like the tow place. My mama had to bail my brother out of jail. He's probably like maybe like 17, 18. It wasn't a big deal, right? Like he probably had like a gram, okay? He probably had like a gram or something on him. He got locked up for that little gram, right? Probably wouldn't get locked up today, but he did then. My mama get him in the car. "I told your ass that this was gonna happen." And in the moment, you can't stand that. In the moment, you're so frustrated. In the moment, you're so mad about like, why are you telling me I told you so? But the reality is that that's the essence of mama. That's the essence of mama. It's something that divine feminine energy naturally has access to. It's something that divine feminine energy naturally has access to. And let me tell y'all something that spirit was telling me over the last couple of days. Spirit was telling me that if we don't heal, and transform our mother wombs, we can't be who we are designed and destined to be. Let me tell you, because here's the reality. The reality is that your mother, your grandmother, your great grandmother, your divine feminine maternal ancestors The reality is that they are what make up your roots. I want you to see yourself right here, right now as a tree. You're a tree, a big, beautiful tree. If you want to have sustainability, if you want to have longevity, you're going to have to nourish your roots. If your roots, where you come from, your mother, your grandmother, your great grandmother, if your roots are not tended to and addressed by dealing with some of your mother wounds, by healing that divine feminine energy that dwells inside of you, then you don't have a solid foundation for you to grow and flourish and be fruitful. A tree that does not have roots that are intact, a tree that does not have roots that are healthy, a tree that does not have roots that are nourished and watered, that tree ain't producing no fruit. That tree ain't producing no fruit. So the reality is healing your mother wounds is like mending a broken mirror, because here's the reality. The reality is that you are a reflection of your mother. And when you have unresolved issues with your mother, your grandmother, your great grandmother, whether they are living or not, when you have unresolved issues, you are like that mirror that is broken and fragmented. Okay. But when you decide, I'm going to reconnect to that mother energy inside of me, I'm going to forgive my mother, I am going to address some of these wounds. Okay. I'm going to appreciate who my mother was, who my mother is, who my great grandmother was, who my grandmother is. When you say, I'm going to appreciate that, what you are doing is piecing together those fragmented pieces and developing a deeper level of self worth and self love. And in doing so, now you got this new reflection of yourself that is resilient, that is authentic, and that has a natural inner beauty that you allow to just shine bright. See, when my before my brother had connected with my mother, okay, before my brother had connected with my mother and explained to her what he was dealing with, he was all fragmented. He was all over the place. Because you want to know why? Because he was like, I don't want to let my mama down. My mama gonna be upset. She gonna be this. She gonna be that. He was all in that bag. He was all in that bag, and so this kept him very fragmented, deluded, and just in a state of fear. His vibration was off. But when he let go of the idea, because my mama is a tough cookie. Now, my mama is a tough cookie. My grandmothers are tough cookies. I mean, these women are very strong women. They ain't taking no shit, right? They don't like no bullshit. Like they like, what you doing? So he had to let go of the idea that my mother and my grandmother were not going to have the capacity to care for him in the way that he needed. So that was him healing at the root. Because at the root, he felt like my mama ain't gonna be able to deal with this. She gonna be upset. She gonna judge me. She gonna criticize me. So I can't really let her in on what's going on. That's how he felt. That's a root issue. Okay. That's some inner child issues. And so for a lot of you, a part of the inability to tap into the divine feminine energy, a part of the inability to tap into that great mother energy and allow your maternal lineage, whether it is your great grandmother who is in the astral realm right now, whether it's your grandmother or your mother who is still alive today, doesn't matter. A part of the issue and the inability to connect to that energy and use it to inspire yourself, to encourage yourself, to uplift yourself, and to tap into the realm of infinite potential and infinite possibility. A part of your ability, a part of what's blocking you to do that is because you still have this judgment and criticism towards your mother, your grandmother, your great grandmother. When here's the reality. Let me tell y'all a real truth. Okay. Let me make sure y'all understand that first. Understand that when you still have criticism, judgment, and you're only seeing one side of your mother, okay? When you're only seeing that one side of your mother and you're unable to flip the other side of the coin, you limit your ability to tap into that divine feminine energy, to tap into your own maternal instinct, and to cultivate maternal power, which can support you in magically manifesting. Like I just said, when my brother let go of the fear that my mother was going to judge and criticize him, and he was vulnerable and he let her in, yes, at first she was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" But after she went and took a spiritual bath, spirit channeled a message to her for her to share to him. And then that message that she shared to him awaken things in his mind that were dormant that he hadn't tapped into. And now he's had a whole different energy since then. He's not in and out of these depressive states. But if he would have stayed in that wounded child, mom's going to judge me, mom's going to be mad, he wouldn't be where he is right now, where he's manifesting a new reality that is in alignment with his purpose. So, what am I saying to you? I'm saying you have to deal, heal, and transform the perspective of your inner child so that you can embody that maternal instinct that you need. Why do you need maternal instinct? Why do you need maternal power? You need maternal power and maternal instinct, not just to nurture children, but to nurture yourself so that you can manifest. All of you have something that you want to create. All of you have something that you want to experience in this physical reality. But if you don't know how to nurture yourself, if you don't know how to uplift yourself, encourage yourself, and be that great mother to yourself, you're not going to transform in the way that you need to transform in order for you to be birthed into a new reality. See, the mother energy is about taking in insight. The mother energy is about taking in information, sitting it in your womb, resonating with that thing, working on that thing, loving on that thing, and then birthing it. So some of y'all are having challenges with creating in this reality. One of your blockages may be you're not connected to your maternal instinct or your maternal lineage. Okay? Let me get a check in the chat if y'all are following me. Let me get a check in the chat. I heard this young lady, I heard this young lady say that and religion, society and religion will make people believe, right? I heard this lady say, society and religion will make people believe that men are the protectors, the providers, and all of that. And at first I was like, okay, lady, let me see where you're going with this. Let me see where you're going with this, lady, because I don't know if you talking some real shit or if you just on the other podcast, black men against black women type of rhetoric. So I'm like, okay, let me see what this lady is talking about. So she keeps going and she says, if we really, really look at it, it is women, particularly women of color, who are the real protectors, providers, nurturers, and all of that. And as I continued to listen, I realized that she was really right. I don't know about y'all, but uh, my home and my grandmother's home and my great grandmother. Oh my God. My great grandma, my big mama, I say to you, big mama, I'm gonna tell you how to tap into great grandmas, right? I'm gonna tell you how to tap into them. I'm gonna tell you how to tap into the big mama. What did y'all call y'all great grandma? I called my great grandmama Big Mama. That's what she was called. She was called Big Mama, like the movie Soul Food. Y'all all saw the movie Soul Food, right? That damn Soul Food movie was traumatic as hell. Am I the only one that thinks that the movie Soul Food was traumatic? You had what was them characters' name? Oh, that movie Soul Food, baby. That was some trauma for your ass. That was some trauma for your ass back in the 90s. That movie was so that damn movie was so damn. You had Ahmad, which was the little boy, which was Big Mama's boy. You had Bird. You had Terry. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Soul Food. Shit. Mm-mm. I wouldn't watch that movie today. I would not watch that movie today because, baby, trauma, trauma. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Straight up trauma. Okay. Real talk, it's still a soul food. Y'all never saw the movie? Okay, Queen Eloise said no. Oh, Johnny Mac said it was much trauma. Exactly. But she said she felt that way about all the movies. It was in Chicago, right? Listen, I don't know where that movie Soul Food was filmed at. I don't know what they were where they were located at when they were telling the story. All I know it was traumatic as hell and they had Big Mama in it, okay? They had Big Mama in it, right? That's all I know. They had Big Mama in it, and that shit was traumatic. Anyways, what did y'all call y'all great grandmother if you were able to connect with her? We called our great grandmother Big Mama. What I love, and my Big Mama, this was so amazing. My Big Mama, she called me Toby. Y'all know, damn Toby. What movie is that for with Toby? Kunta Kinte? Yeah, Kunta Kinte on some shit. Toby. But I had to accept it because that's my Big Mama. And what I realized now that her calling me Toby was short for October. She was literally calling me October and Toby for short. And so, you know, I lean into that energy on purpose, right? Not only is my birthday in the month of October, but I really, really honor myself during October. And I just love that. I just love that energy. I just love that energy, that big mama energy, because they just know stuff, right? Your great grandmothers, they just know stuff. But my great grandma, her house was the house that everybody was at. Whether you was family or not, her house was the house that everybody was at. Okay. And so what I was getting at was women, that divine feminine energy are the real protectors, providers, nurturers, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, the lady on the video had came out and said, men only protect and provide for what is theirs. Do y'all believe that? Let me know in the chat if y'all believe that. I think there's some truth to it. I think there's some truth to it. Okay. I think there can be some truth to the fact that men, especially in today's society, I think there could be some truth to the fact that men are only protecting what is theirs. Not necessarily like if they're at a store and they see something happening, they probably not gonna jump in. They probably not gonna be nosy and be like, "Okay, nah, this shit is not happening on my watch." There are some men who I know who are like that for sure, right? Who are not they're not gonna stand around and observe no bullshit, like none. But women, shoot. Women, we coming to the rescue. Women, we got our cape on. That divine feminine energy, we swooping in. And you know what? Dream Wise at some point in time told me, "Babe, you can't protect everybody. You can't save everybody." Because there's something naturally and instinctively in me. Like if I know something, if I have something, I remember when the COVID happened. When COVID happened, y'all, I had called my mama, I had called my brothers, and I had called all of them, and I was like, "Listen, if this shit gets crazy," I had told them this for real. I said, "If this gets crazy, y'all need to all move to our house." Dream could not believe that I said that. He was like, "What? Why are you telling them they can come to our house?" I'm like, "Because that's what we do. If the world is going to and there is a war happening and there's chaos happening, we need to be together." I sure did before I even talked to him about it. Before I even talked to him about it, I was on the phone with my mama. I was like, "Look, If everything goes to chaos, y'all meet us over here. Because the reality is, we got the biggest house, we got weapons, we got the most space. You know, we could if push come to shove, we got a huge backyard. We could build y'all a little. We can put y'all a little trailer in the backyard, and all of us can live together. Dream Wise ain't thinking like that. See, that's something that women do. Okay, that's something that we as women naturally have the instinct for. Okay, women, if we see, a child that looks like they by themselves, naturally as a woman, I'm gonna say, "Hey, baby." Oh my God. Okay, here's a great example. We were at field day. Y'all know how parents do. We were the parents that come to field day because I like that. I want to see my kid running around and doing his thing. We're at field day, and I have a brand new bottle of water. Let me say how crazy this is. I have a brand new bottle of water, never been opened. This little boy, little Asian kid, right? Little Asian kid, he is sweating and he don't have no water. And he's like, "Oh, it's so hot. I'm thirsty." Of course, I go in my purse to give him the water. Here comes Stream Wide. "You can't get that with no water." I'm like, this bottle of water has never been opened. What is the problem? Here go Dream Wise ass. "Man, what if that boy end up getting sick tonight? His parents asked him, what all did he have today? He gonna say he got some water from so and so's mama, and they gonna be coming looking for your ass." I was like, see, women, we ain't thinking like that. We thinking like, this baby needs some water. Let me nurture. Let me support. Let me protect. Let me provide for this kid. I ain't thinking that the kid gonna go home and be throwing up and be sick. And so we had a whole debate out there at the field day. I'm like, why do you have to go there? Why can't it be the baby is thirsty? I have a brand new bottle of water. Mind you, I'm pregnant at the time. So he's like, you need that water. So there he goes as a man protecting, you know, his family. He's like, you need that water. You pregnant. You out here in the sun too. But as a mama, as a woman connected to that divine feminine energy, I'm ready to give this kid the water. Even though I very well might need it, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna be good. Because that's what mamas do. Because that's what that divine feminine energy does. And so you have to tap into this so that you can give yourself water when you parched, so that you can give yourself encouragement. Okay. So that you can give yourself upliftment, so that you can spark new ideas in your mind that you need whenever you are in a space of being challenged. Okay. When you are being challenged and your back is up against the wall and you like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. I don't know what's going on. The energy that you need to be tapping into is great mother, because you are needing spiritual insights, spiritual downloads, spiritual revelations. You are needing some dark matter in your mind to be lit up. And the divine, the great mother energy does that for you. Okay. So let me tell y'all some ways that you can tap into your maternal instinct. First of all, like I said, I need y'all to really work on healing your heart and releasing some of the disappointment that you have about your mother, who she was. Okay. Because let me tell you, healing the mother wound, family, is like unlocking a hidden treasure within yourself. Okay? This is so good. Healing the mother wound is like unlocking a hidden treasure within yourself, because just as valuable gems, right? You got gems, you got crystals, you got diamonds, you got gold. Just as if all of these natural divine elements are buried beneath layers of the earth, when you go through the healing process, you are going to dig up your true essence. Okay? Healing the mother wound is like finding those hidden gems within yourself. When you still have that disdain, that resentment, that discomfort for mama, for grandma, for great grandma, for what they did or did not do, these gems, these crystals, this gold, this silver, this natural beauty that is yours is covered up by all of these layers of emotion. It's covered up by all of these layers of judgment and criticism about what you did or did not receive from your mother. So when you do that healing work, what you are doing is excavating all of that stuff so that you can discover who you really are. Okay? So that you can free yourself from the imposed, unresolved maternal pain. All right? Because here's the reality. Don't nobody know you better than your mama know you. Don't nobody know you better than your grandmama, your great grandmama know you. Okay? You want to know why? That good old Bible verse. That good old Bible verse. What's that Bible verse that said, I knew you when you were formed in your mother's womb? Some shit like that. Yeah, that energy. That energy. And so that's how your mamas be knowing when something is wrong. And they be like, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Like my kids, they may think that they getting away with something. You ain't getting away with nothing. I will let you think that you're getting away with something. I'ma hear you out. I'ma listen. I'ma hear you out. But I know. But I know. Okay, so we got some questions coming in here. Let's take some time to answer them. If you have some questions about this mother energy, listen. Fortunately for y'all, for the next few days, when I go live or whenever I create, I'm going to be talking about this mother energy. So no worries, we're going to keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Queen Eloise Wright said, "What about mothers with personality disorder?" Yummy question, because the reality is that we do have mothers with certain psychological mental health issues. I have a cousin, my cousin. His mother has been essentially, though she's a grown woman, 50 years old, she pretty much in certain spaces and places still acts like a 5-year-old. And the reason why she does that is because she's experienced trauma. And the trauma that she experienced was her her grandmother, right? Her grandmother on her dad's side, right? So this is still my great grandmother, but on my mother's father's side, was killed. Not killed, I shouldn't say killed. She died. She died when my aunt was around 4 or 5. And because my aunt didn't have anybody to help her healthily process this transition, emotionally and mentally, she stayed stunted at the age 4 or 5. So, yes, she would go to school. Actually, she dropped out of school in like middle school. She didn't even go to high school. She did go back and like get a GED or something like that. And yes, she got a job. And yes, she shows up in society as a regular human being. But at the core of it, her emotional comprehension is like 4 or 5 years old. So I was talking to my cousin because he was like, "Man, I swear I gotta take care of my mama. I swear I was gotta take care of my mama. I don't know what this is. She's supposed to be my mama. She's supposed to be taking care of me, but I gotta take care of her." And I said, there is still a gift and a blessing in this experience because one, you get to see how people in the world, you may look at a person, they may have an adult body, they may do adult things, but they're still a child. That's something wonderful to see. Why is that wonderful to see and observe? That is wonderful to see and observe because you will take these rose-colored glasses off and you'll start to see society for what it really is. A lot of times, you're not perceiving your mother, your brother, your partner, your husband, your children. A lot of times you're not perceiving people properly and you're building your life around something that is an illusion. So, what about mothers with personality disorders? What I'm saying to you right now is that you have to recognize the gift in having a mother that has this disorder. Why is that? See, it's all about perspective because the reality is that how you interpret your experiences is a reflection of your internal world. So you have to ask yourself, is the meaning that I'm giving to what's happening right now? Is the meaning that I'm giving to what my mother is doing right now? Does this meaning serve my highest good? So whether your mother has personality disorder, bipolar disorder, whether she's a drug addict or not, you have to ask yourself, how can I see this as serving my highest good? See, personality disorder, you can see it as, oh wow, my mother is multifaceted. She got many faces. She can tap into this, and this. How is that a good thing for me? That's a good thing for me because sometimes I don't wanna be the same person that I was. Sometimes I need to Oh, let me tell you the gift. We're reading a book right now in the Patreon family called Breaking the Habits of Being Yourself. And something so key that he continues to say in the book is your personality creates your personal reality. Oh my God. I hope you're here, Queen Eloise, and you're listening. Personality creates your personal reality. So if somebody has a personality disorder, what that means is that they are able to shift their personalities moment to moment to moment to moment. Why is that a gift? That is a gift because there's a personality trait that you, me, and all of us are embodying right now that is not in alignment with who we actually desire to be. So if you want to change your personal reality, you got to be willing to change your personality. See, this perspective makes you take a step back and say, damn, it's actually good that my mama got this personality disorder because I got some personality disorders as well. It's not manifesting the same exact way, but a personality disorder can be anger issues. You seek attention. The personality disorder can be you lack attention, right? You can't focus on something. A personality disorder could be you perceive the world from a place of lack, not enough. There ain't no good men in the world. These are personalities, and they are a disorder. They are a disorder because it is not in order and in alignment with what you desire to experience. So you got to create some order within your personality in order to create a reality that you like and that you desire and that you want. Okay? So perspective is key. You got to be able to shape shift and contort your mind, and that's where divine feminine energy comes in. Think about mothers who grow up who end up having children who have disabilities. Most mothers that I know or that I've heard of and that I've even worked with, because I've worked in a school, and, let's say their child has a disorder. Oh, baby, these mothers, they're going to find the best of the best for their kids. They're going to make it work for their kids. They're gonna say, "Okay, my child may have this disability, but my child has this ability." This may be something that my child struggles with, but this right here, oh, my child is great at that. And that mother is gonna shine that light on that child's greatness. See, this is the power of divine feminine energy. This is the power of mother energy. So what we have to do is, y'all, we have to detach from the stereotypical um explanation of who and what a mother is supposed to be. And we have to ask ourselves, I love that. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's absolutely it. We have to transform that. And we have to start to see our mothers and our grandmothers and our great grandmothers as blessings, no matter the challenges that they face, no matter the ways in which. So let me tell y'all some things. I'm gonna tell y'all a few things that I want y'all to integrate into your lives right now to help you to tap into your maternal instinct. Give me a one in the chat if y'all want to know these things. And after I drop these things, I'm gonna let y'all go. Give me a one in the chat if y'all want to know just a few ways that you can tap into your maternal instinct. Very simple ways. So y'all be thinking it's harder than what it is. It's not. It just requires consciousness. It requires awareness. I'm gonna tell y'all some simple things. But you got to give me that one in the chat. Give me that one in the chat if you want to hear some simple ways to tap into your maternal instinct. And understand that you tapping into this energy is you tapping into the essence of your grandmother, your great grandmother. And that energy is supporting you on this earthly realm. That energy is supporting you on this earthly realm. All right. So, first things first, something that you have to start doing with your life. Number one is you have to start setting clear intentions. A mother always has intention for her child. Whether her intentions are in alignment with what the child wants, a mother be having them intentions. Honey, I'll be like, okay, y'all gonna eat this week. Y'all gonna do this. Y'all gonna put this on. This is what y'all gonna do. This is what's gonna put y'all in the best situation possible. I set my intentions. See, mamas set loving intentions for their child. When that child is in the womb, most mothers have an intention of, I'm gonna love on this child. I'm gonna nourish this child. I'm gonna provide for this child. For this child. Everything that I get to do for sacred work. Most mothers have that. Okay. Most mothers have a clear intention on what they want for their child. Check. Most mothers have a clear intention on what they want for their child. So in order for you to tap into your maternal instinct, you have to start setting clear intentions for yourself. Who do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Where are you going? Number two, something else that you have to start doing that mothers do so beautifully, no matter if they live in a big ass house or a small apartment or in a damn homeless shelter, a mother is going to do her best to create a sacred space. A mother's going to do her best to create a sacred space for her child. You have to create a sacred space for yourself. And when I mean sacred space, I mean a sacred internal space, meaning your internal conversation, how you talk to yourself. Is it sacred or is it neglectful? Is it toxic? Is it unhealthy? Right? You have to create a sacred space for yourself. I grew up in the hood. Matter of fact, if you go on Blue Pill's page on Instagram, he posted a video of all of these prostitutes walking up and down the street in the neighborhood that I grew up in. And so to see somebody who lives wherever he lives posting my Houston street and saying that it's an epidemic happening over here, so on and so forth, it's amazing because the area that he's showing was definitely a low socioeconomic area. But when I was growing up in it, it wasn't no prostitutes walking around. Yes, we had drug dealers and drug addicts and gangs, but prostitutes, no, they wasn't out there like that. They wasn't out there walking around the streets just getting it, letting themselves be seen in the middle of the day. It was more hidden. And we lived in a two-bedroom apartment where, and let me tell you how my mama was. I don't know if y'all mama did this. I don't know if you grew up with a single mother. So what my mother did was me and my two brothers, we had the master bedroom and she had the small bedroom. Like, to even just sit there and think about that even though it makes sense, right? It makes sense, but for my mother to do that, it's just like, wow. You know, it's really like, wow. My mother took the smaller bedroom in that apartment, and me and my brothers, we got the master bedroom. The master bedroom had its own bathroom. It was a two-bedroom apartment. Um, and in the master bedroom, she made it work. Me and my younger brother Chris, we slept in a queen's. She was able to put oh my God, it was so dope. It was when you think about how far you've come, it makes you appreciate your mom. And this is why me regularly, I I call my mom regularly to say thank you. I don't take that for granted because I think about the challenges that we face, single mom, impoverished, grinding. I think about the challenges we face, and I'll be damned if I stay mad about the fact that she was controlling or I didn't do this or I didn't have that. Like, no, it's not even what? When you think about when you think about how when you think about the level of adversity that your mother and your grandmother and your great grandmother had to face, ask yourself, like, and don't get it twisted because I do talk to people who have mothers that are truly unhealthy. I do talk to people who have mothers that are truly mentally unwell and they violate boundaries. So I'm not telling you that you gotta be best friends with your mama, but I am telling you that you have to do the healing work inside of yourself so that you can cultivate healthy maternal energy. This is whether you are a man or a woman. Men have to be able to nurture. Men have to be able to love. Men have to be able to cultivate. Men have to be able to birth and create too. But yeah, my mother gave us that master bedroom suite, and she put 2 beds in there, or she put a regular bed and a bunk bed. She just made it work. She created a sacred space. And so you all need to be very intentional about creating a sacred space for yourself. Get into your feng shui. Even if you have a one-bedroom apartment, even if you live with your family or live with your parents, I don't care. You need to establish a space that is dedicated to your spiritual practices. This space can be a corner in a room. It could be at an altar. It could be a whole room, right? That's the glow up. That's the expansion. Me, Dream and I went from having a corner in a room to having an entire room dedicated to our spiritual practices, and you can have that too. Okay. Another way that you want to connect to the maternal energy is that you have to connect to the elements. You have to connect to earth. You have to connect to water. Those are the two main elements that you have to connect to. Earth, Mother Earth, Sister Earth, Daughter Earth, whatever. Earth is a divine feminine essence. Water is a feminine essence as well because we're talking about emotion. So if you want to cultivate that and then think about it, the body is symbolic of earth, flesh. Okay. This is why they say, when you die, you get buried, you return to the earth because the physical body is flesh. It is earth. But when the baby is in the womb, they are in the amniotic fluid. They are in water when they are in their mother. So to connect to that maternal instinct, you need to connect to water. You need to connect to the earth element. Okay. This way, you're going to start receiving insights, downloads, and things of that nature. And then the last thing, and there's more that I can tell you, but I'm going to save some for y'all for the next couple of videos that we do pertaining to mother energy. So you got to set clear intention. You got to create a sacred space. You got to connect with the elements, earth and water. And then you also 100%, 100%, 100%, you need to learn to trust the process. When a woman becomes pregnant, all she can do is trust the process. There's absolutely nothing else. Yes, you eat healthy and you take your prenatal supplements and you drink your water and you do all of that, but you have to trust the process. You have to trust that the baby know what it's doing because that's just the facts. It does. You can't do anything about it. Trust the process. When it comes time to birth, you'll birth. Okay. So, your great grandmother is assisting you all in this earth realm when you tap into that divine feminine maternal instinct within yourself. When you awaken that energy in yourself, you allow all of your maternal lineage to come through you and activate you and support you in moving forward. Okay. I remember when Dream and I first bought this house, we were about to host an event, and I had never cooked a big meal for family and friends. So I was a little anxious. I was a little nervous about it, right? I'm used to just cooking small meals for my family. And I'm in the kitchen and I just hear my great grandmother and I just feel my great grandmother. And being that she had 13 children, she always had to feed a lot of people. And so I was able to channel and tap into her energy and get comfortable with providing for a large amount of people. But see, this is not just, it doesn't just happen in that way. your great grandmother, your mother, they're coming through in so many different ways and spaces. You have to take the moment to honor that and get out of the disappointment of what they did or did not do. Honor them. Set clear intentions, create a sacred space for yourself, work with the spiritual element, and last but absolutely not least, you got to learn to trust the process. You got to know that what you need when you need it is going to come through. And this is just the start of how you start to manifest and create and turn your life around using that great mother, that great grandmother, that divine feminine energy. All right. If y'all received some value from this video, give me a check in the chat. I'm so glad to spend this time with y'all. I just had so many experiences over the last couple of days and last couple of weeks, really, of honoring the mother. And I want to tell y'all that this is something that you got to do. This is something that you got to do. You got to take time honoring your mother. I don't. I know your mother's done did this, and that. I know your grandmother's done did this, and that. I know they done did all of that. But here's my question to you: are you going to let that to continue to control your life? Are you going to let what they did or did not do continue to make you not become the man or the woman that you desire to be? Because, baby, best believe me, the unresolved issues that you have inside of you, the unresolved things you have inside of you, it's rotting away your roots, which is destroying your fruits. Let me say that to you again. The unresolved issues you have with your mama and your grandma and your great grandma, they're rotting your roots, baby, because your mama and your grandma are your roots. Okay. They are from which you come from. And so when you don't resolve that, your roots are withering away. And if you don't have good roots, if you don't have healed roots, then you're not going to have good fruit, which means you're not going to manifest and create the reality that you desire on the external world because you got some unresolved issues happening underground. All right. So we're going to keep talking about this over the next couple of weeks. I'm so excited to build on it. Thank y'all for being here and sharing this sacred time with me. Also, I got a class that I'm giving away for absolutely free. It's called the Make Manifest class. Make Manifest. All you got to do is it's the link. Hit the link in the description. I think I put it in the description. No, I didn't put it in the description. Okay. I'm gonna put it in the description for y'all so y'all can get this class called Make Manifest because manifestation has been a big deal right now. Let me drop the link so that y'all can get it. 100% free. Make Manifest. Create the life you desire with 20 spiritual rituals. Very simple. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat so y'all can go and get that course because you need it, and it's just so dope. It's so powerful. I don't want y'all to miss it. I want y'all to use those gems. So I'm gonna put that in the comments for y'all so y'all can get that class for free. All right. It's a 2-hour class on spiritual rituals that you can do to start manifesting your life. That's the link. I just dropped it. 100% free. And I'll be seeing y'all later. Peace, y'all. Y'all have a good day. And then y'all can message me in the comments what stood out to you in this build.